Hi, it's Mark from Top Local. We're here with Bernie Pawlik. Pawlik Automotive in Vancouver. Vancouver's best auto service experience. 16-time winners of Best Auto Repair in Vancouver as voted by their customers. How you doing, Bernie?
I'm doing very well this morning.
So we're going to talk about a 2008 Volvo XC90 that needed some shocks. What was going on with this SUV?
Well, the vehicle was brought to our shop for a couple of concerns. There was a stability warning light on the dash, and first we always road test a vehicle, and almost immediately I drove out of the parking lot, and it just the handling of the vehicle just felt weird, like it just felt very unstable, and clearly there was something wrong. I figured right, just based on years of experience, something's wrong with the shock absorbers in the rear. You can just feel it the way the vehicle was bouncing.
So what was happening with the shocks, and how did you know that they were bad?
Well, basically, so what was happening with the shocks is the vehicle ride, as I mentioned, was very poor. It was there's just this feeling you get when shock absorbers are worn out, and it's like the vehicle bounces in an odd way. And so there was when we hoisted the vehicle and looked at it, there was really nothing else other than they were just worn out. I'll share pictures in a couple of minutes, but it's just a feel you get with the vehicle. And I know in the automotive industry, there's a lot, shock absorber manufacturers, they often recommend, replace your shocks at 80,000 kilometers or 50,000 miles. They've since toned that down to inspect your shock absorbers because honestly, and I've battled with my supplier, talked to my suppliers going, I think this is a bogus recommendation. I mean, there's so many cars that have 200,000 kilometers. I mean, I own a Subaru that's got 250,000 kilometers. The shocks, the struts are original, and the car still rides fine. And they said, look, I'll give you a free set just to try out. This is about 50,000 kilometers ago. Tried them out, and there might be a subtle difference, but really is minimal. So, but when shocks are blown, you can feel it. Like there's a bounciness to the car when you hit the brake. If the fronts are gone, yeah, the car will. You hit the brake and the vehicle dips, and then it bounces back up and it keeps bouncing. Like that's when they're really bad. I mean, if it dips too much, that can be a problem too. But it's that relaying bounce that's a problem. Now, in this vehicle, the fronts were fine, but the rears were bad. So when you hit a bump, the back end of the car is just kind of flopping around. It's kind of hilarious. But there's a bridge nearby my shop, the Oak Street Bridge, and there's a curve. And every vehicle I drive on this curve, there's a little expansion joint in the bridge, and every vehicle I drive, and you hit the curve, it kind of makes a little bump and twists the back end. I went around this curve with this Volvo, and I honestly thought the car was going to go off the road. It's not that scary. So, anyways, I'll just share a couple of photos. So we have there's our XC90. It's a little dirty. It's Vancouver this time of year, and didn't have a chance to wash it before the photo, but that's it. 08 XC90, and then we have shock absorbers. So the old shocks are on the top. I mean, they look old and dirty, and maybe a slight bit of fluid seeped out of them, but that's the new replacement unit underneath. It's a KYB gas adjust, excellent shock absorber, original equipment quality or better. So yeah, that's it. So sometimes you can tell shocks are bad too. They'll start leaking. They all have fluid in them. If they start leaking fluid, that's a sure sign the shock's on its way out. And sometimes it can be leaking fluid and still work fine for a while.
So is this a difficult repair on this Volvo?
Not too difficult, although it does require removing some of the interior to access the top shock absorber bolt. And there's a bit of finickiness to it, but it's not a really crazy job. A couple of hours type of work to do it, and it's done.
So how did the vehicle ride after you put the new shocks in?
That was awesome. Felt like a semi-luxurious sport utility vehicle. It was pretty, it was nice, really good, and stable. I mean, that's the thing. When the ride's like that, it actually is dangerous, even though it's not like driving a car with no brakes, but it's not stable on the road. So you could lose control under certain circumstances. It's important to have them working.
So how are these XC90s for reliability and repair?
No, they're not bad. The older versions the older models prior to this generation they had a lot of problems. These ones seem to be more reliable. don't know if I'd go and buy one. I think they're still, you know, if you want something really reliable, something Japanese would be better, but I would say that, you know, overall they're pretty good. Definitely better than the previous generation. Quite redesigned too. The engine design is different. One of the other items we replaced was a serpentine drive belt, and it's interesting because it's located between the engine and transmission. You know, instead of being on the side of the engine, you know, away from the transmission, which is the normal place. So there's a lot of interesting redesigns with cars. You know, over the last decade, they do some. We look at it and go, wow, that's strange. But you know, it's saying it uses the space more wisely, but it makes for a more expensive belt replacement. But fortunately, they last a long time. So overall, you know, the car's good.
So there you have it. If you're looking for auto service, auto maintenance, changing your oil, and other specialty services in Vancouver for your vehicles, these are the guys to call. Pawlik Automotive. You can reach them at 604-327-7112 or check out their website, pawlikautomotive.com. Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, Mark.